On the table today at Squirrel Stampede, it is Megatronus the Fallen, the greatest prime that has ever living. But we've got Megatronus the Fallen, and he is on fire. Whoa, he really is on fire. Stop that, stop that. Gotta watch out for Megatronus the Fallen. He is a huge grilling expert, or so he thinks he is. Also, I've got Tarn here. I get Tarn a little bit mixed up with the Fallen sometimes because he has this interesting Decepticon headpiece too. And they both turn into tanks, so it's really hard to get these two in order, plus a few other surprises. So follow along as we discover the fire of Megatronus the Fallen.
Squirrel Stampede!
Please, Squeak!
Squat Share!
And Squirrel Live!
This is Transformers Age of the Primes Megatronus the Fallen. Not to be confused with the furnace from Home Alone. Till all our squirrels, leader class figure. On the back of the box, 38 steps from robot to tank. With a special Age of the Primes accessory, a cannon. He's certainly a bigger figure, so it's going to be really interesting to see how he stands up against the other two primes. Is it even wise to open this guy? What sort of backdoor trouble will he get us into? I remember the time when Megatronus the Fallen backed up all my credit cards trying to purchase him. Okay, that's a pretty great prime so far. Megatronus, can you get yourself out of this one, can ya? You know why they really call him Megatronus the Fallen, do ya?
Bonk.
Well, that was supposed to be a funny bit where he just fell right out of the packaging. There we go. How much extra accessories does a Megatronus need? Well, you gotta have fire, of course. And more fire and more stuff. He must be the chief prime of grilling and making yummy food. Now, where do we attach all these beautiful flame pieces? Up on the shoulders, I believe, somehow. And so you want them to wrap around up front, not up back. That's one barbecue chicken on fire. Oh no, now the short ribs are on fire. Up top even. There goes the steaks. And one more, not the pork chops. Oh, Megatronus, you've really burned the grill now. There's like all these weapon accessories. Which way do they go? This must fit on top of this, making his grill spatula. And then of course he's got a sword. Oh, opening and closing. Knuckles, always nice. And I think these two things are tank add-ons. Wow, Megatronus, you're scary looking. Adding that fire detail is really quite cool though. It doesn't really matter he burned the food. So certainly leader class compared to Solus and Prima. Wait, Prima and Solus. He's a head taller than Prima and several feet taller than Solus. He'll be a good background bot if we're able to collect all 13 or 12, 37 primes. As an overall bot though, great proportions. Looks tall and mighty but thick. He can support his weight with those giant legs, backpacking thing, and all around just standing tough. Oh, maybe up here. I think I can place this thing up here. There's so many little details of this one to get to know. Good colors too, with mostly deep slate metal going on. Dark metals of black, gray, and lighter gray. And then with Decepticon favorites of purple and yellow there. Add in the flames and it's really a beautiful figure. I'm sure there's plenty of points of articulation for battle. Obviously, head rotation, shoulders that rotate, reach a little bit. Elbows that can bend and rotate on the forearm. And we already saw those opening knuckles to hold onto a sword, but we can of course rotate those wrists. Built tough looking guy chest for rotation at the waist. And well, can we tap dance Megatron around? Great rotation in those hips to move out and kick, knees, and some pretty good movement on those ankles. He's tough. Ooh. Cool pose of the day. I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. I see why he was so highly regarded and talked about already, and so adored by Megatron. He was the greatest prime who ever lived. And yeah, Megatron, I'm gonna have to agree with you right now. Might just be the greatest prime who ever lived. Except for maybe all his grilling talents where all the prime's food is burned. Megatronus the Fallen is certainly one of the hottest Transformers I've seen this year. So, they say there are 38 steps to the transformation of this one, yet usually tanks are pretty well easily done. Lots of thick pieces, flanges, heavy blocky things moving, so maybe he won't be so bad. Luckily, Landry has been exploring the instructions with me, and I think we'll be able to figure this out in about 10 to 20 days. Or more. So, first things first, let's remove all the barbecue damage, accessories, and spatulas. And maybe straighten up your back, old man. Step 1 through 3, usually my favorite, hiding the hands. Step 5, lift up his front grille. Then rotate in his arms, and then pull them down. Reach out arms, flipping back down chest head thing so that it pops away from the inner structure, giving you an opportunity to lift up some micro treads behind those shoulders. We're somewhere near step 11, so we rotate his head around, and these chest flangey things rotate forward, but then rotate the whole thing underneath his head. Step 14, flip up this whole thing, and maybe tuck it like so. 16, we'll rotate these backpack treads around. 17, some things kind of unbuckle from the sides of the treads, and then we'll rotate those around. And so we've now reached the halfway stage of the Megatronus really weird squirrel grill platter. At old parties, Megatronus would walk around grilling squirrels and handing them out to his fellow primes, which is kind of a sore subject around here at Squirrel Stampede. How could you do this, Megatronus? And is such the backstory as why he has fallen. Grilling squirrels on that platter was seen as very poor judgment and had him eventually kicked out of the primes. Okay, where were we? We're gonna flange up these back treads. And in step 20, they are going to rotate on up, connecting up high. This stage proves my theory that tanks are fun to transform. 21, let's move our focus to the pants. So we start by doing the classic prime waist rotation. Then, if these little thingies haven't fallen off yet, flip them up. Then, if you want to have a satisfying moment of breaking Megatronus's knees, rotate those knees around. Then these side leg panels do some things like rotating them around. And then these back treads are going to want to flip up and out. Thus then tucking in those feet. Ooh, nice and tight. Closing back those treads. And we're getting closer. I feel like on step 27, things are really coming together. Step 28, a little tight at first, but you're gonna wanna break his hips on up. And this little piggy goes down. And then these panels bridge across. This might be one of those squaring stages to make sure everything is interlocking nice and flat all together, triangular, rectangular like. Step 31, we're beginning to work on the top turret, so lay this flat down. And to start fumbling around for some cannon accessories. I think it's this thing, which of course also transforms. So much fine detail. This thing makes it bigger. Geez, Megatronus, you certainly didn't hide your cannons. Okay, this stage feels very Megatron-esque. We're gonna place on this cannon into this part of the turret, and we're gonna rotate and sandwich these pieces in together. And step 37, flip up and out these little weapon accessories. And so there we go, tank mode is complete. Of course, adding in those extra barbecue flames for some extra fallen terror. And do something like this with the rest of the accessories and pin them onto the side. There you go, Megatronus in tank mode. Not crazy hard in 38 steps, just a few interesting things in the middle there that may take some time to completely memorize. And unfortunately, the way the turret is holding together, it doesn't rotate too well. It kind of wants to fall off those arms. I wish there was a secondary point of contact on those arms. It likes to kind of loosen up here. Oh dear. So the strength of Megatronus is totally bot mode. The tank is fun. It's a nice little transformation process. But kind of like Prima and Solus, I'll probably always keep it in robot mode. What I'd really like to find next is a Megatron blocks, or blockies, or blokes. What do you call these? I can never get it right. I'm having too much fun with these. First finding a Sentinel, then a Ratchet, then an Optimus Prime, followed by a Badassatron, then an Unalive Tracker, followed by parts of an Ironhide I haven't built yet. So I'm feeling like I'm getting really close to finding a Megatron. I believe I pulled most of these boxes from the same shelf displayer, so it has a chance. It has a chance to being a Megatron. So let's see what I can find today in this pack. Oh, it's Hound! I guess my quest for a Megatron continues somehow. So these have been delightfully satisfying. One of these days I'll set some time to do a full Blokees review. For the price point, they're quite worth it, usually running approximately $5 over at Walmart. And they take a few moments to build, which enhances their awesomeness. And they have so many fine detail moments like their inner chest piece here. Plus all the satisfying clicking noises. They may be a little tricky at first, trying to figure out where all the pieces go, but once you get the hang of it, they're quite enjoyable. And super fun to play with in robot mode. The bot heads on these also look really cool. And sometimes they fool you. I think I forgot to place this inside his chest. And repaired. So here is Hound on his display pad. Doesn't exactly look like Hound without being able to place his weapon up onto his shoulder, does it? He's pretty much in basic form right now. Good odds, only 1 in 9 will have a Megatron, but since I pretty much pulled everybody, I don't want to keep going because I'll just keep pulling everybody again. So we'll see what I can do someday. Hound crashing this review today. So when I first met Megatronus the Fallen, I thought for sure we had seen him before, but I got confused with this Transformers Legacy United figure of Tarn, which I know pretty much next to nothing about. I just had remembered Megatronus with a very distinctive head, Decepticon mask face kinda confused on in, and then Tarn here also transforming into a tank. I just had to pick up to see the two together. Over on the back of the box, 27 steps to get Tarn from robot mode to tank mode. Again though, I know nothing of Tarn. Let's get out a pack and check him out. Like Megatronus, pretty interesting looking. And let's see if we fall for Tarn yet. Awkward. And so what do we got here? Kind of a cool second in command bot if you pick up a Megatronus the Fallen and need a good buddy. He just feels themed right from the same forge. I guess Tarn is more of a comic universe bot that I just don't know of, as I'm more versed old school Transformers. Like Megatronus though, good proportions. We can kind of move these shoulders about, head rotation, elbows and wrists. We can even open and close those knuckles, which are really tight. That's a good thing. Loose knuckles are never good. Then onto some waist rotation, hips that can reach out, kick, do a lot of things with those knees and ankles. The highlight figure though with this bot though is the Decepticon insignia head that he is placed on as a mask. I forgot why. Probably a dare that went wrong. That always seems how it goes. There should be an Autobot with the same thing. It would be kind of fun. And so yeah, I had to pick this up to go against Megatronus. So more reasonable 27 steps of instructions. We'll start by flipping around to the back, lowering these TV antennas. Here he may still be analog. Cracking back this back piece. Rotating and up and around. Pulling back so he can hide his head. And lifting back up instead. Then rotating around to the front. Touchdown, he says. Flip up this front panel. Pull out tank treads. There's ever so slight movement there. And angle those back a little bit. This piece then up and over. Step 10, what are these legs up to? Flip around and lock together. Then rotate these arms all the way down. Now we can lock in these back turrets. And it sort of posts into this crotch zone. Tippy toe, tippy toe. Knee bend. Flip over. Rotate these arms so that the holes are up top. And that the fists are pointed in. Then open the panels off to the side of the hands. Angle out a little bit. These treads then flip open. And I think that it looks something like this. You position your arms and you move in your treads like so. Eventually squeezing those treads into those arms. And we're super close now. Flip this turret now back over on top. Well, that was a little more quick and seamless than what we did with Megatronus. Then add on this turret onto the back. There's a variety of ways I've noticed this turret can be arranged. It's currently on the back in this arrangement, but there's a few other ideas you can work with. And so there is Tarn in tank mode. Not too bad, not too bad. Tank transformation, always so satisfying. And rolling back in Megatronus the Fallen. And so we've transformed two very entertaining tank bots today. And these two work great together as leader and assistant to the leader. These two will get into lots of mischief and fun. I had fun with these. I can see myself transforming Tarn, though, a little more often than I would Megatronus. Megatronus with those 38 steps is a little bit overkill, but maybe it will get easier over time. But Tarn had that just interlocking switchable weapons thing going on where you can kind of move the weapons around a little more often in various more places, and I kind of enjoy this one a little bit for the transformation process, but Megatronus in robot mode cannot be contested. This one has the best robot mode. Uh-oh, squirrel tank battle. And let's get these guys back to bots. And there we have it. Well, this leader class bot was one of the funnest I've seen in quite a while. I think it just must be those extra barbecue flames. And getting to know a little bit about a Decepticon I really know nothing about was kind of interesting too. And so now the primes of 13, well 14, maybe 12 can grow a little bit larger. I think Star Optimus Prime has been pushed back towards the fall, but Alchemist Prime will be there too, so that'll be our next look at the 13 primes. Right now, Megatronus has some grilling to do for the squirrels. One of these days, I'll try to set some time for these Blokees Transformers. We still have this classic class Optimus Prime, and then I found these Shining version figures too that are pretty interesting. If you liked today's video, please give us a squawk, comment your favorite most interesting Prime of 13. Here's some videos that YouTube recommends. That's what I have to say about that.